All right, you guys can see this, right?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
All right.
So got 2 more minutes. So
4 minutes.
stretch it out, take a big breath. You're gonna walk us through this. No? Oof. All this sitting at our desks all day, right?
Is it
Michael,
weird
are
that
you on a treadmill?
I would have
I
felt
am
more
on a
comfortable
treadmill.
doing this in person? Huh?
Vanessa asked if I was on a treadmill, and I am.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing.
You've been steady. Every time you see her, she's on the treadmill.
You know, I think I might have gone absolutely crazy by now. Like, I'm spending like 9, 10 hours a day on Zoom calls, like right here, sitting down. So you guys, most of you have all seen me in the classroom. I'm not a standstill teacher. I move around a lot. So sitting at a desk all day was like doing something to me.
Okay.
Marco, do you have any sound in your presentation?
Yeah, I have a video.
Did you check the share audio button when you shared?
No, I did not.
All right. So when you're sharing, there's either a drop down in the corner. It's part of the Zoom. It's part of the Zoom. It's part of Zoom. When you first hit share, in the bottom left, there's a little checkbox that says, so if you escape out of your share for a quick sec.
Okay.
Now, when you hit share again, look in the bottom left-hand corner, and there's a little checkbox that says, I think, share computer audio or something like that.
Okay. What about the optimized screen share for video clip? A video clip.
That's even better. Sure.
All right.
All right. It's 12 o'clock. I'm going to give you the floor and turn everyone else off. It's yours, Marco.
Okay. All right. Welcome to my degree symposium. It's called Slow, and it's a guide to meditation. So, why meditation? I feel like stress is very relevant in all of our lives. And I've learned personally that if it's left unattended, it can build up over time and create worse side effects that just make everything else harder, which nobody needs right now. And it's a very useful tool. And the best part is it's free. So what is meditation? Essentially, meditation is just slowing down the mind. Whatever way that you can do that, it's different for everyone, you're effectively meditating. Now, these are 4 mental states. Everyone goes through these states, and I'm going to elaborate on them. So there's the beta state, alpha state, theta, and delta. And what you're seeing below, when you're in beta, your brain is operating at about 15 to 40 waves per second, and then alpha is a little bit slower than that, and then theta slower, and then delta is the slowest. So I put them into more familiar terms. So beta is focus. That's when you're actively engaged in anything, say when you're doing homework or you're at work, or if you're maybe playing a sport. It's all like high focus, like highly active brain. Relax, that's alpha, and that's when you take a break from whatever task you're doing. It's like the unwinding stage, and your brain starts to slow down a little bit. And then there's daydream. This is when you're deep in thought. Sometimes you're kind of in like autopilot. This happens a lot to people when they're in the bathroom, say you're like brushing your teeth or taking a shower, you're kind of like really deep in your own thoughts and you're not really aware of your surroundings. You're not taking in that much information. And then sleep, you're almost completely shut down. So I want to share with you a little story about somebody who was way in over his head. So it was fall 2016. I moved to Boston, my first time in the city. I was dealing with homesickness. I had no family or friends here. And I was adjusting to a really fast-paced lifestyle, which I did not grow up like that back in Amherst. Things were much slower and composed. This is what my daily schedule usually consisted of throughout the week. It's 3 hours of commuting from Malden to school to practice, 5 hours of class, 3 hours of soccer, 5 to 8 hours of homework, and then around 4 to 6 hours of sleep. So this is a little diagram I made of the stress levels I was dealing with. So at this point I was at about a 7, but I had a good summer and I was excited to be here despite dealing with some hardships. So I had a lot of energy to deal with it all. I felt like I was keeping up. Now, this is spring 2017. So there's just some minor changes, but you can see I replaced the hours that went into soccer with other tasks. So I was still operating very quickly. Very fast. You can see beta was where my mental state was the most. And then the other mental states kind of flowed into that in bits. So spring 2017, things got a little bit more stressful. And I did feel more drained, but I still felt like I was keeping up. Now, fall 2017, there were some bigger changes. I moved closer to school, but my rent was significantly higher. We had a losing season, and there was a lot of toxic behavior on my team. And I started struggling in school. Now, towards the end of the fall semester, I ended up on academic probation. I had trouble finding a new job to pay rent, and I was physically injured from soccer. And this is a read of where my stress levels were at the time, and my mental energy was just not up to par to be dealing with everything I was. So I started experiencing some symptoms. I couldn't sleep. It was hard to get more than 2 or 3 hours. I had a lot of trouble eating. Sometimes I would go over 24 hours and I couldn't eat, even if I tried. I felt depressed and disappointed. And I developed a kind of anxiety that you shake from. It was very unpleasant, and some of these things I had never faced before. So I decided to do an analysis. I had never felt so out of it. I'd never felt so powerless. Things had been tough before, but I always dealt with it. So I got a read on everything. I realized I was constantly operating mentally, if not physically. I wasn't eating well at all. I wasn't eating enough. It was usually 1 or 2 meals a day, and they weren't very big ones. I definitely wasn't getting enough sleep. I didn't prioritize that. I was experiencing pressure from my commitments and the consequences of not meeting those commitments. There were also financial problems. I was having a portion between being able to pay rent and utilities, getting art supplies for school, and having money to buy food to eat. And we were failing to turn around a losing season. on the soccer team. I'm going to elaborate on why that was a big deal. So I came to realize soccer for 8 years had been my form of meditation. It gave me a physical and mental release, and that's kind of how I cope with everything. No matter how hard anything was, if I got to play, it gave me this freedom. Um, but for fall 2017, the team environment was incredibly toxic. Everyone was at each other's throats, and that tainted the peace I got from it. And then eventually I was injured, so I wasn't getting a physical release from it either. Um, so I had to find a solution. School wasn't going to go away. Uh, having to pay rent wasn't going to go away. All the obstacles I was facing were definitely there to stay. And I didn't want to face, the consequences if I didn't try to take care of that. So that's when I thought to look to meditation. I knew about meditation before. I'm sure a lot of people know about it. And I had tried it in the past, but it didn't work out. Whatever instructions I took just weren't working. I think it said something about just trying to think about nothing, which is extremely hard. So I did some more research, and I learned that meditation is actually different for everyone. Everyone has something that's right for them, that's effective for them. Not everyone can follow the same instructions. So taking that, I looked back at, some things I did other than soccer because I was injured, that relaxed me before. And during the season, I would take these salt baths to, help my body heal from the physical activity and soreness. But I also found that just sitting in the bath for 20, 30 minutes, it really relaxed me. The sweating, like release of endorphins was really nice. So I decided to try meditation in the salt bath. And it proved to be really, really effective. After about 3 sessions, my anxiety was completely gone. I wasn't shaking anymore. I was able to eat and sleep again. I felt more emotionally stable. I could think clearly. I was able to produce better artwork, and I felt motivated again. And this helped me plan out how I would move forward, which I then took a year off from school. I worked, I got some money together, and then came back to school. And this is what I feel like now, more or less. Um, I feel like I have a lot of mental energy to deal with whatever comes. And this was before and after pandemic. I've continued my meditation, and I feel like it's definitely helped me maintain my stress levels. One thing I always thought about, this is since I started meditating and realized how helpful it was, is that these commitments and stress levels I was experiencing were really common. I know a lot of kids at MassArt who constantly stressed out, and I always got this feeling like we're all in it together because everyone had something. It came in different forms, but it was definitely there. I know a lot of people were living fast paced, having to go from here to there, or, other stresses in life, and I felt like they could benefit from it the way that I did. And that's how I reached my audience for this project. Stressed and overwhelmed professionals. I know we all know Boston's full of them, whether you're a student, a worker, or doing both, like I was before the pandemic. And this was the question that troubled me throughout the semester, but that I really wanted to figure out because I really did want to find a way to help out. That was, how can I help professional workers take advantage of meditation? So I got to doing some research. Um, I made a set of interview questions. You can see these here. We're not going to go through all of them because it's a lot, but it's based on inner analysis, kind of like the one I did when I was going through a really rough time, and then current living situation and meditation and what you might know about that or if you practice it. So I got results back, and what I found was uh, most students at MassArt had similar situations. They faced similar problems, which consisted of a lack of free time. Sleep varied between 4 to 8 hours. All of them experienced mental exhaustion. All of them, except for one, felt that they could benefit from some form of therapy. I thought that was interesting. And stress and anxiety were consistently and specifically listed when asked how they felt in a regular work week. Everyone's downtime involves some form of technology. So it's like TV or computer, PlayStation, or phone. Now, all of them had some knowledge of meditation. About a third had tried it before, but only a fifth continued to practice it. And out of the students who meditated, each one had a different method aside from closing their eyes and breathing slowly. There were different positions they would get in. There were different visualizations and different focuses. And so they used the meditation for slightly different purposes. All the interviewees knew about meditation. The ones that didn't practice it had sort of a base knowledge, and they all kind of knew the same thing, which I'm sure you can guess, like sitting with your legs folded and your index finger connecting to the thumb. So these were the issues I was seeing. It's definitely not always easy for people to get into, as effective as it is. Time is definitely an issue for a lot of young professionals, and it works differently from person to person. But above all, I felt like the main issue was the information that everyone had, which was something I experienced. So I started forming some ideas, trying to figure out how I could inform people about, how versatile meditation is. Thought maybe including some scientific research would help people better understand themselves. It definitely did that for me. How could I help them find ways to fit into their day? Or, how could I help them find meditation that works for them? I figured out what works for me, and so did the other interviewees who still practice it. But I guess that's the tough part. Everyone's so different. It's hard to know, what's going to work for who. And obviously, how can I make this easily accessible? So I came up with this app. It's called Slow, because that's the point of it, to slow down your mind. So I decided to include some helpful information. It's pretty reductive. I feel like you can get a lot of information across without having to write a whole article about it. It talks about meditation and the benefits of it, mental states, and some sciences like some chemicals your brain releases when you do meditation and how that helps you stay productive or keep up. The app is split up by meditation methods that serve different purposes. So the first is energy meditation, and it falls into the alpha and theta. And this is usually for when you're taking a break or unwinding. it can help you get some mental energy back to deal with some of that mental exhaustion. And I left the options here for you can either read the instructions and attempt the meditation, or if you're somebody who likes guided meditation, that's there as well. This is restful meditation, and this is for right before you go to sleep. If you're having trouble with that, it can help you slow down, to help transition into a good night's sleep. And this is a meditative movement. It helps you get active, and like right before you go into a beta state, this can help you wake up. It's based off of some basic sciences like stretching, some basic workouts to help get your mind focused. And this feature is what I feel like really sets this app apart from the rest. It gives you the option to actually customize your own session. And it's based off of the meditations that are within the app. And you can set up a step-by-step meditation if you found two different ones, or if you're somebody who needs to start off with an energy meditation and then go into like a workout form or something. You can put that in here and the app will set it up for you, and you can put a timer for how long you want to spend in each part of the session. So I have this video here that I want to share with you guys today. I'm sure you'll enjoy it, and it's just demonstrating how the app works and how it can help out. Okay. Hold on one second. All right, I'm sorry. So somehow the wrong video loaded up. This is the right one. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Sorry about that at the very end there. Uh, you guys have any questions or?
Thanks, Marco. I'm going to unmute everyone for you now.
Great job, Marco.